The changes to the way we vote in Louisiana might not be as big as we first thought. Could the new governor get his first big loss?
This is your first alert to the next freeze headed our way.
After one day in the 60s, here comes the cold again. Low 50s for Friday, and then into the weekend, hard freezes for both Saturday and Sunday mornings.
Live from Louisiana's News Channel, 9 News at 10 starts now.
Good evening to you, friends. I'm Greg Merriweather here with Elizabeth Vowell. You're seeing one of the many downsides of this week's dangerous winter weather.
The entire town of Kentwood has been left without any running water after a pump malfunction. Miranda Thomas joins us in Kentwood, where folks were lining up earlier today to get some clean drinking water.
According to city officials, the issue lies within the middle of this 58,000-gallon well, but they're working to fix the problem as soon as they can.
The cold weather is coming in. We had this malfunction with the well that was out of our control. It was out of our control.
Mayor Irma Gordon says following numerous reports of low water pressure, she immediately contacted the company who recently installed this well and found out that repairing it could take some days.
So that flap valve is supposed to open and close to allow the water to leave the well. And it wasn't happening. The well was full of water, but the water wasn't coming out of the well.
They had to shut down the well. Now the entire town is left without water, but she and other community leaders scurried to help everyone they could. Boxes and boxes of water were distributed at the Kentwood City Hall.
We have water that you can drink and you can cook with it.
People like this lady say they are grateful for the cases of water, but the lack of water coming from their pipes leaves a concern.
The fact is, it's going to start freezing again and supposedly this weekend. So you're going to have the same thing you had this past weekend where the pipes are all, they say let water run, but you're not getting any water to run. What are they going to do about the pipes then?
About the main concern is busted pipes. Not having something running through the pipes, there's a good chance it might freeze and expand, and when it thaws, bust the pipe.
Mayor Gordon says they will continue to update the community and are asking for patience as they too are without water. And if you do happen to have a little water, remember Kentwood is on a water boil advisory.
We've told our residents they must boil their water before drinking it if they're getting it out of the faucet. Very few households may still have a little dribble. And if they use that water, they need to boil that water.
Friday morning at the Kentwood City Hall, they're expecting barrels of water so people who live here can come and get whatever they need. Reporting in Kentwood, Miranda Thomas, WAFB 9 News.
All right, Miranda, thank you. If you can, shut your water off and drain what's in the pipes. That will help you out as we head into the weekend.
So taking a live look outside from our Sky 9 camera, very hazy night. In fact, what's kind of missing in this, you can actually see it a little bit. Just a few minutes ago, you could not see the state capitol at all. It had completely disappeared, like a little magic trick there.
David Copperfield in Baton Rouge tonight. Our magician of sorts, Jay Grimes, over the Weather Center.
Well, it's that time of year where you say, well, if you don't like the weather, just wait till tomorrow.
Right.
And we're in that pattern. In fact, today we've had a little bit of it all, including that fog that's just now starting to develop across South Louisiana. And as Elizabeth was saying, it wasn't even 5 minutes ago. You couldn't see even the lights on the state capitol. Winds are still fluttering around a little bit, but in general, it is very muggy out there. In fact, warmer now than it was in the middle of the afternoon at 64 degrees. We've got that southerly flow going, bringing in the moisture off of the Gulf. But notice the cloud line as you go just north and northwest of St. Francisville over towards Ville Platte. Avoyelles Parish, they're clear, and then a cloud deck sitting over us, and it's low clouds generating that fog for the area. And we've still got these sprinkles still around the Florida parishes here. Those rains have held on a lot longer this evening than I thought they would. In fact, it was a rainier day than I thought it would be. No big accumulations, but just those rains hanging around for the day. So let's take a look at what's going on. And now we already have a dense fog advisory in southwest Louisiana, but I want to show you it ought to be in effect for us too. Look at these numbers here. Visibility down to 3 miles in Baton Rouge, 1.5 miles in Macomb, 1 mile in Houma, down to a 1/4 mile visibility in Patterson. So that fog's going to hang around for a while until the front comes through. Hard freeze watch for Saturday and Sunday mornings down along the coast. Freeze watch, but yeah, you folks down in St. Mary Parish, Iberia Parish, not included in the watch yet. I think you'll be in it tomorrow. Yep, just wait another day, and the weather keeps changing, guys.
Jay, thank you. State lawmakers practically rewrote the bill to create closed party primary elections in a 5-2 vote earlier this evening.
What originally was designed to apply to all state elections, the bill was amended to only include congressional and state Supreme Court elections. That now heads to the Senate floor for a full vote and debate. It is a stark contrast from what Governor Jeff Landry had originally asked for, and will need to get full Senate approval and House approval before it reaches Governor Landry.
After a long, grueling day of debate, state lawmakers are also one step closer to passing a new congressional map that includes 2 minority-majority districts. Nearly 6 hours of negotiations behind closed doors took place before things could get started. A Senate bill by Republican Glenn Womack passed out of the House and Governmental Affairs Committee just before 7 o'clock. The map is backed by Governor Jeff Landry. It splits up Baton Rouge into 3 different districts. All but Baton Rouge Democrat Representative Denise Marcel voted to send the bill to the House floor for a full vote, saying splitting Baton Rouge three ways, she says splitting Baton Rouge 3 ways is insane.
Well, not only did it split East Baton Rouge 3 ways, it split Rapides Parish 3 ways. So it was definitely shocking to me that anyone would vote for that. I know that we had a better path to get to 2 black districts without doing that. So my concern is what was the motivation for it, and certainly why did we do that?
Lawmakers will pick this debate back up tomorrow morning.
Governor Jeff Landry is taking immediate action, he says, to prevent illegal immigration. It comes as new data from Border Patrol shows that more than 4,000 people are being apprehended at the border each day. Landry says the lack of transparency by federal officials to provide crucial information on immigrants in Louisiana, including biographical information, criminal background, and last known residence, he says it presents an unreasonable risk to our citizens.
The Republican Party of Louisiana fully supports Governor Landry's executive order. It's well timed and it's necessary.
One of the purposes that he's trying to achieve is to distract from the real issues that Louisiana is facing, specifically with education.
Governor Landry ordering the state heads of agencies, departments, offices, commissions, and boards develop policies and procedures to collect and analyze the data related to public services being provided to unauthorized immigrants. The WAFB I-Team now, where an officer with the Baker Police Department claims his religious freedoms are being trampled by the agency.
That officer says a fight over his hair is causing the department to break the law. Simon Klein-Peter refuses to cut his hair as part of a religious vow he's taken, but that has now gotten him in trouble for violating the agency's grooming policy, according to the police chief. When he would not comply with that policy, he says the chief stripped him of his take-home unit and took away his ability to attend a training to better his career. The officer believes his rights are being violated, but the chief says it's a misunderstanding.
This is not legal. None of this is legal. We're a police department. We're here to enforce the laws and uphold our community in that way, and we're breaking the laws in our own department. It's amazing to me. I don't understand it.
It's not about a discrimination of religion. It's about a violation of policy. And I'm going to honor and respect anybody's religion, anybody's religious beliefs.
Our team took a close look at the station's grooming policy and read up on that vow that the officer is taking. We've posted more information on both of those subjects for you in the I-Team section of the 9 News app.
A nearly 600-page report from the Justice Department slams Uvalde police for their response to the shooting there at Robb Elementary School. The report outlines cascading failures of leadership before and during the attack. Lilia Luciano has the details.
The law enforcement response to the mass shooting at Robb Elementary was a failure.
In a devastating new report, the Department of Justice blames cascading failures in leadership, decision-making, tactics, policy, and training for why police waited 77 minutes before confronting the gunman at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. Associate Attorney General Vanita Gupta led the investigation.
Have you seen a bigger policing failure in your career?
The Justice Department have never seen anything like this.
The goal of the Justice Department's engagement has been to learn from these lessons.
After reviewing over 14,000 pieces of data and more than 260 interviews, the report lays much of the blame on then school police chief Pete Arredondo and his failure to treat it as an active shooter situation and not send all available resources towards the threat until entry was made into the classroom.
Had the law enforcement agencies followed generally accepted practices, lives would have been saved and people would have survived.
Arredondo instead chose to evacuate other classrooms and wait for keys, backup, and tools.
Can you tell the police to come to my room? I already told them to go to the room. We're trying to get someone to you.
A student from inside the classroom called 911 asking for help, and officers still waited nearly 40 minutes before stopping the shooter. Only a handful of officers at the scene have lost their job or resigned.
Because the DOJ stamp is on there, maybe y'all will start taking us seriously now, instead of telling us to move on, telling us to sweep it under the rug, and not doing a damn thing about it.
Jasmine Cáceres, whose 9-year-old sister Jacqueline was killed, fears there will be no accountability from the Uvalde County District Attorney.
She's been doing her investigation just as long as the DOJ has. The DOJ has no jurisdiction over this. They can't prosecute. She can. What else does she need to be able to move forward?
Since the Uvalde school shooting, districts across the country have reassessed their security protocols.
We began to look at our door configurations, ensuring that they are able to be locked and secured at all times. We began to look at the need to have an armed officer on each campus.
Today, I pressed the DOJ on whether any of those failures could lead to criminal charges. They said it is up to the state of Texas and the district attorney here to determine that. The DA has had the results from the Texas Rangers investigation in hand now for a year. With this other investigation and those results in hand too, I reached out to the DA to ask if and when will she present any evidence to a grand jury, and we are awaiting a response. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Uvalde, Texas.
We've been hearing a lot about the new I-10 bridge tonight. Governor Landry gave us some more details talking about Calcasieu Parish here. The location, though, well, some of it might surprise you.
Plus, there are also a lot of questions surrounding a possible bear hunting season. We'll tell you what you need to know as officials get your input. Governor Jeff Landry made an announcement this evening to build a new bridge in Calcasieu Parish, but it does come at a cost.
Governor Jeff Landry says the new bridge will come with tolls, but they've worked out the contract so that they'll be able to use some of the profits from the tolls to improve the community around it.
What can we do with that money? We can either pay the toll down, or we can invest in other projects in Southwest Louisiana. So I believe it was a win-win. We vetted all the projects. This was the best one, and we got a stake in the profits of the toll.
This proposal will still need to be approved by committee later this month before it will move back to the Capitol.
We're learning a little more about a proposed black bear hunting season. The Department of Wildlife and Fisheries held a public meeting tonight at the West Monroe Convention Center. The department released a notice of intent in November about a potential black bear season last year. 10 people throughout the state will be accepted through a lottery system to hunt for one black bear in Area 4 that is located in northeast Louisiana.
People understand what we're doing and why, and where it's going to be and how and when, and there's a lot of questions tonight you saw about, and maybe a little bit of confusion because they heard from so-and-so that this is what was going to happen, and that's partially true, but just we want our public to be informed.
Some folks are against this as well. The details are not official yet since they still have to go before lawmakers for approval. 2 more public meetings are set to take place.
All right, rain and fog today. Tomorrow we'll get into the sunshine. It's a freeze this weekend, and look at the rain estimates for next week. Starting on Monday, heading into Thursday and Friday, we could see 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 inches of rain based on current estimates. Well, clouds and low clouds and fog have been the issue for the evening, and that'll continue for a while as we wait for a cold front to come through and sweep it all out. Now a pretty decent view of the state capitol. 30 minutes ago, you couldn't see it at all, and out at Metro Airport, visibility has gone from 1 mile to 6 miles, so it's really sort of swinging left and right depending on where you happen to be. If you are going to be out on the road this evening, later tonight, between now and about 2 a.m., keep in mind you're liable to run into some areas of fog. As we get into the morning, though, the fog will be gone and the skies will be clearing. Low 40s for your morning start. We're up around 50 by lunchtime. Tomorrow, sunshine for the afternoon, but not nearly as warm. We got in the low 60s. In fact, we're in the low 60s right now, and we'll only get in the low 50s tomorrow. The other thing to notice with that sunshine is the winds are really going to be whipping, especially in the afternoon. So Jeff Morrow's hairspray index is going to be right up there, pinging 9 or 10 on the index. Right now, temperatures generally ranging in the 60s around Metro Baton Rouge, but look at the 50s from Macomb, New Roads, back over towards Oakdale, and the cooler air behind the front is going to sweep through overnight tonight. Got all the sweeps going right now. A couple of blips across the Florida parishes. Still some light rains falling as they continue to push off to the east and northeast. But fog, again, starting to form across the area. Visibility now back down to 3 miles at Metro Airport. It's come up at Macomb again. So you get the idea. It is really bouncing around and probably will continue to do that until the front comes through. Now, behind the front, another Arctic shot. And that's why we've got a hard freeze watch and a freeze watch. In effect, those are for Saturday. They'll get upgraded to warnings tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll get watches for Sunday, which will get upgraded on Saturday. So you get the idea. We've still got a big wedge of cold air in the Central Plains heading in our direction. You can see these are mainly clouds coming off the Pacific and that moisture that's sort of being brought in off of the Gulf of Mexico. Here comes the front. It sweeps through the night, so by the morning, partly cloudy skies will clear it out for the afternoon, and it's clear skies for Friday into Saturday. There's the core of the bitter cold Arctic air, but watch what happens. That core is going to slide more to the east rather than dive southward, so we're not going to get hit as hard this time as we were last time when we had those teens for Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Still down in the low to mid 20s for Saturday and Sunday morning, and as we get into Sunday, the clouds will start to build in. So in terms of those freezes up at Macomb, you're looking at maybe 15 to 20 hours for both days, and teens are possible near the state line. I've got the low to mid 20s for Baton Rouge, and even down into the 20s as far south as Houma. So you folks in St. Mary Parish, even though right now you're not under a watch, I would say plan on a light freeze at the very least. Here you go then, the next 3 days. Notice how much cooler it gets for Saturday and Sunday with those hard freezes for the morning, giving you that first alert heads up. It's all 4 Ps, prolonged freezes for just about everybody in the area. Then that's when we flip the script heading into next week. Look at these daytime highs up into the 70s, and you see those rain chances, 70 and 80% for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and that's where we're talking about those 3 to 5 inch totals possible. Stay right there, folks. We're back in a minute.
Identical twins were used for a new study showing the health benefits of a vegan diet. The study, which was published in JAMA Network Open, found a vegan diet improves cardiovascular health. Danny Bacchus has the story.
Rosalind Morehouse and Carolyn Sadeko sacrificed their diets for research.
My uniqueness is tethered to the fact that there's someone else who is genetically the same as me.
They were just one set of 22 identical twins who Stanford researchers studied for 8 weeks, comparing vegan and omnivore diets. Carolyn was randomly selected as the vegan.
It was challenging, just as I had expected.
Both diets were healthy, full of vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and void of starches and refined sugars. The vegan diet had no animal products. The omnivore included chicken, fish, eggs, cheese, dairy, and other animal-sourced food.
They made really significant changes in a number of nutrients, a number of foods, even the omnivores.
Christopher Gartner is a nutrition scientist at Stanford University and the lead author of the study. He found vegan eaters saw the most improvement to their cardiovascular health.
That the LDL cholesterol dropped by 14 milligrams per deciliter, which was more than a 10% drop. They didn't have high insulin levels to begin with, but they dropped in the vegan group, and they lost a little bit of weight.
Carolyn and Rosalind say both diets help change their eating habits.
I feel even more empowered to say, of all these things I can choose, I'm going to choose the healthier option or the plant-forward option.
Gardner says even a nudge in the plant-based direction can improve health. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Our 9 sports team is coming up next. Stay with us.
Here's Kevin Batiste from the Spencer Callahan 9 Sports Desk.
Going back to last season, the LSU Lady Tigers have not had to respond to many losses, but that was the case tonight. The 10th-ranked Tigers look to get back on a roll in their second straight road game at Alabama. LSU calls themselves the show, and once again, they were the main attraction. 5,575 fans in attendance at Coleman Coliseum. That's the largest home crowd in Alabama women's basketball history. A minute into the game, some nice ball movement from the Tigers lead to their first points of the game, an Angel Reese two-pointer. Next possession, Anissa Morrow throws a cross-court pass to Flau'jae Johnson. Big Foe knocks down the three as LSU gets their first lead. And then coming up off a missed Alabama three, Michaela Williams grabs the rebound. Williams brings it up. She's going to freeze her defender at the three-point line, then takes it in for the strong finish. That's a 9-2 run for the purple and gold. Second quarter, LSU down 2. Johnson is going to come back strong by taking on everybody in Tuscaloosa. The sophomore going full speed like a running back for the layup. Johnson had 8 points and 5 rebounds in the first half as LSU led 34-27 with 2 minutes left in the first half. But Alabama went on another run. Nye knocks down a three. She had 18 points in the first half, and Alabama led 35-34 at the break. But the LSU third quarter run of doom was in full motion. Anissa Morrow's three leads to a timeout. LSU scored the first 8 points of the second half. Sarah Ashley Barker sat most of the third quarter with 4 fouls, and it just got spookier for the Tide. With the Tigers up 13 points, Morrow gets the steal, takes off, then finishes through the contact from Aaliyah Nye. Free throw made it 54-38 Tigers. LSU's defense, specifically Flau'jae Johnson, kept Nye scoreless in the second half. Morrow finished with 18 points, but the Bayou Barbie was the star of the show. Angel Reese tallies the game-high 22 points along with 17 rebounds for a double-double as the Lady Tigers avoid back-to-back losses. 78-58 is the final. Don't know what Kim Mulkey said at halftime, but it paid off. LSU is back home Sunday against Arkansas. Next Thursday, top-ranked South Carolina comes to town. Here in town, BRCC boys was hosting Bishop State Community College. Picked things up late in the first half. The Bears break the press as Courtney McCartney is the beneficiary. BRCC leading 46-43 at the half. Into the second frame, 3-ball from the corner doesn't fall, but Jack King is going to stay on it and score on the rebound. And then later, a loose ball near the sideline. LaRon Lewis Jr. is going to keep it alive. Fires a fastball to Jarrell Love, who drops the hammer as the Bears were imposing their will in the second half. And then Lewis gets paid back for his heroics on that last play. Open three as he drains it. The Bears go on to win by the final score 98-94. They play Delgado in 2 weeks. Switching to high school, Episcopal varsity boys basketball team hosting defending state runners-up Family Christian. First half was a shootout as Parks McMains fires the first bullet. He finished with 15 points. It was tied at 15 in the first quarter when Family Christian's Tori Below comes up with the steal and takes it the distance. Below led FCA with 25 points. And then the Flames heating up some more as Tristan Williams hits from downtown. But TJ Callahan from Episcopal, 6 straight balls in the first half, team high 19 points. As the Knights win by double digits, 76-62 is the final. Man, that's a lot of basketball, but we have you covered. Let's look at your sports. We're back after this.
Well, temperatures in the 60s right now, but a front overnight will sweep out that fog and low clouds. And look what happens. Temperature drops about 20 degrees between now and daybreak. And tomorrow's high only the low 50s.
All right, Jay, thank you. Thanks for joining us here at 10, friends.
We appreciate it. Good night.